Now, the world's biggest democracy rolling out the red carpet for a warm welcome for the president with thousands of people taking to the streets.
So is the bias against the president so deep-rooted that the left refuses to acknowledge and respect the other nations really have for our commander-in-chief? From the Independent Women's Forum, Beverly Hallberg is here to weigh in. Beverly, good morning to you. It's been quite a busy few days for the president and First Lady. What do you make of the criticism that the president has received so far?
Well, it seems that many have a hard time talking about the significance of this. There's even a recent Pew study that showed that the confidence that Indian adults have in this president has quadrupled since he took office in 2016. As you mentioned, this is the largest democracy, the second largest population in the world. So this is a very important meeting, and to see not just the red carpet rolled out, but also this friendship that the president has with the Prime Minister of India is very important as we talk about world issues, and of course as they're going to continue to talk about trade. The trade aspect's been downplayed by the liberal media, saying there's a lot more pomp and circumstance than actual policy being moved forward. But here's the thing about diplomacy: sometimes it takes time. We still don't know what's going to come of this visit, but the fact that he's there, he's talking to the Prime Minister with such an important ally, of course, is something that should be reported accurately.
In 2016, you just mentioned it, the president didn't get a lot of Indian American support, under 20%. Do you think that number is going to go up after this trip?
Oh, dramatically. And we even saw earlier in 2019 in Houston, in Texas, you saw tens of thousands of American Indians come out for a rally for the president. The Prime Minister of India was there as well. There is overwhelming support for the president by the people in India. But yet some of the headlines we're seeing, I think the most interesting headline was from CNN yesterday, talking about the president doesn't like vegetables. So what is he going to do in a country where they don't eat beef? So there was a lot of talk, can even go to McDonald's, because McDonald's doesn't even serve beef in India. So it seems even CNN has been more concerned about the president's diet and what he eats and what he doesn't eat than actually what's taking place. I think the president will be just fine not eating beef, eating maybe even a vegetarian meal while he's there.
Well, the president said this morning in his announcement he had with the Prime Minister just about an hour and a half ago that there was progress made in a comprehensive trade agreement. So there is some progress being made. That's what the president said in front of a number of people on live TV, except that's not exactly what you're going to hear elsewhere. Take a listen to this.
Perhaps this was for the president to help promote his struggling brand outside of the United States.
This trip is going to be a lot more style than substance and pageantry over policy.
The president has also been taking in some of the sights, posing for a photo outside the Taj Mahal, as some people noted, the one he didn't bankrupt.
Beverly, can you talk about the importance and the significance of when a president and First Lady is overseas on these visits, how you do immerse yourself in that culture, how you do make visits to certain locations and to have meetings with certain people, how important that is?
Oh, it's important. It's what's always been done. You would have not heard this type of critique during a President Obama presidency. You saw photos of them with him and the First Lady going to different countries around the world, and they were thought of as doing amazing work on behalf of the American people and commenting on Michelle Obama's clothing and how beautiful she looked. Well, I happen to agree with that. I just wish the same standard was applied to the Trumps as well. It's a very important thing to show respect and honor to the places that are important to individuals. When you go to their own country, that is a sign of respect. But yet the media want to point this out and say this is just a whole lot of pageantry, not a lot of policy. But as you just mentioned, there are so many discussions going on when it comes to trade. But even on top of trade discussions, this is a very important partner when it comes to tech policy. Some regulations they've put on in India have made it hard for the global community. So we see that's probably going to be discussed, and also some of their human rights abuses. I think the president is going to be talking about that as well. So this is a very important visit for a very important ally that we have on this world stage, yet the media just really struggle reporting on anything positive about this president.
Well, we talked about Indian Americans and what they think of the president. Here's what the public in India and how they view the president of the United States. There is some confidence there in 37% of them. You see some pretty decent numbers, better than he has in the U.S. with Indian Americans. They elected Modi. Modi and the president are similar in some ways. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, both of them are strong leaders. Both of them say what they want, and I think have gotten away from more of a politically correct talking point culture. And so I think they really respect what President Trump on the trade aspect, wanting to have good trade with countries around the world. I think, like you said, we're going to see some movement with that. And also, I think that they respect that the president has talked about being proud in the country he's from. When you talk to Indians, what you find is they're very proud of the country they're from. Even Indian Americans are very proud of their culture. And so they also respect, you're talking about people who are very entrepreneurial, people who really appreciate lowering regulations on businesses in this country, lowering taxes on businesses in this country. And so I think they look to him as a president who cares about opportunity for all people who are in this country.
Beverly, thanks so much. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good day.